Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing extremely well. So let's continue with this video. So in this video, we will be going to learn about Firebase AI Logic SDK. For Android, we will be building a AI chatbot using the Gemini. Okay. So for that, we will be using the Firebase AI Logic SDK. So earlier they had the generative AI SDK for Android as well, which is now deprecated. I can show you. So which is now deprecated. Okay. So that's why we will be using the this one. Okay, Firebase AI Logic SDK. So this one is the deprecated. If you see, I so in the past I created one video creating the Gemini chatbot using this SDK as well, but now this is deprecated. So it means like we will not be getting any updates more on this. Okay, so we have last update on July 3, 2024. So we should migrate, and now we will be learning about its alternative. That is the Firebase AI Logic SDK. Okay. So basically, they refactored and renamed the packages of Fire Vertex AI in Firebase. They had the Vertex AI already there, but they refactored that to adjust that on the client side. Okay, so let's continue with this. So first of all, you need to set up the project. So I have already set up the project, but I will show you a little bit how you can do that. Okay. So first of all, what you need to do is after creating the project. Okay. So after suppose you have created the project in the Firebase. So that you can find that link, you can directly find, or you can, if you are logged in the Firebase console, you can directly create a project from here as well. Adding the package and everything will be there. Okay, so then you need to here inside the AI block, you need to find the AI logic section. You need to open that section, then window like this will be open. Okay, okay, and then what you need to do is you need to set up your project. So after suppose the project has been created, then you need to apply this get started. Then you will be getting these two options because they have two parts, two modes in this API: Gemini Developer API or Vertex AI Gemini API. So Gemini Developer API is provides it is at no cost as well. It provides some free quota as well. For testing purposes, you can use this, but once you need to like at production level, you can use Vertex AI Gemini API as well. Or maybe you can create the pro from this as well. You can like add the card and use the other plan from this one as well. Okay, but it provides some generous quota as well for testing. It's better, like you can use it, and then if you need it, some things are missing, you can move to this. Otherwise you can just move to the plan as you go on this as well once you need, like once you are exceeding the quota. Okay, so these are two options. Okay, so let's say we are starting with this one as of now. So enable the Gemini Developer API, so this will enable it. So if you see, we will create a Gemini API key and enable the required APIs for you. Everything will be done for you. You don't need to create the API key, Gemini API key or anything, because two APIs are required by this. Like for the Firebase, some APIs are which are required by this Gemini Developer API. It will automatically do that stuff for you. Done. Cool. API is enabled. Is showed. Then add the Firebase AI Logic SDK. Continue. Okay. Then if you see, I have already some projects added here. So this one is the another project I. This is the some other project I tested for, like added for testing, but I already have this project already added here similar to that. Okay, so then you, from this project settings, you need to go to project settings. Then this screen will be open. You need to scroll to bottom. Here, if your app is not added, you can add that app like this, and then the Android app, then the package and everything. Simple steps are there. Then you need to download the Google services. Make sure you have added the SHA here of the debug that you can easily do using Gradle signing config command. So by that you can get that as such a certificate. Okay, so that is done. Now let's move on to that. So now basically After these steps are done, make sure you have added the one plugin as well. So basically this one. So this one can be done. So using this step, setup Firebase for Android. Okay, this one. Make sure you have gone to this section as well. You need to add that plugin. You need to like it will be specifying everything to set up that. Okay. Then you need to add the bomb dependencies. Okay. After setting up this plugin, this is the project level Gradle, and then this is the app where it is. Yeah, here as well you need to apply false. Specify the version. Okay. So after that is done, then what you need to do is you need to add dependencies. So basically it provides two ways: directly adding the dependencies or using the bomb. You will be using the bomb here. I added the bomb, and then using the platform, and then I added the Google Firebase AI. This is the main thing which we'll be using. Okay. Without wasting our time, let's come to this. So I have added one just simple screen. That is just the skeleton UI will be creating here, just a scaffold and just column. So nothing is there currently. And this is the chat model. This is also the simple one. Just the dummy code I have added to reduce some time. Okay. I will explaining everything. Okay. So let's continue with this. So basically, first of all, we will be finishing the view model. Logic will be applied in the view model. Okay. So, so basically there are two ways basically. So what you do is inside the Gemini model, there can be multimodal or single modal input. Multimodal means input can be text plus image both, but single modal can be like input is just the text. Okay. So there are multiple ways you can do that. Like there are multiple methods as well to generate the content from that generative model. First of all, we need to create the generative model basically here. So after creating the generative model, then we will be creating the content as well. Okay. So this is the system instructions. So this is the basically system instructions. It means this will be provided as the agent who you are. The chatbot we are building. What is that? We will be specifying. So you are a chatbot who can answer questions asked by users. It can be generic. It can be asked any question answered by user. But for specific purposes like for travel or anything, we can specify you are a travel assistant, etc., etc. So this is the system instructions. These are the instructions which our model will follow to answer the questions. Okay. Then we have generation config. We can use the generation config method directly inside this. We can specify some properties if needed. Like I have specified response modalities. Response modalities means how what kind of response it will be returning. We have currently just the text. We are not generating images. That we will be exploring in another video. Okay, this is the simple chat based chatbot. So user can add image as well. User can add image and ask questions, or user can just ask normal questions. All those will be covered here, and it will be multi-turn chat system. User will be asking questions, then system will be replying. Then again we can ask the question related to that. Then system will be replying. That kind of a chatbot proper. Okay, these are few simple things. Model we are using this latest model. Then we have chat history, just a simple list. Okay, is loading mutable state flow. We will be observing while the API is calling. Error message if something error is there. These are just simple state flows. Mutable state flow and state flow. You might be aware of them. Like if you know it little bit Jetpack compose, and that is the prerequisite for this video. Kotlin plus Jetpack compose. Okay. Then again we have mutable state flow. List of content. This content will be a type from Firebase AI. Okay. It includes few things like role and parts. So role will be the who sent the message, user or system, user or model. Okay, but parts is the response. So there can be multiple parts. Why multiple parts are there? List of parts, because in some cases for user send the image plus chat, in that cases we will be having two parts, image plus text. Okay, in case of user send chat, text plus image, that's why we have list of parts. Or another case can be Gemini can be replying with the image plus text, two parts will be there. Okay. Then we have messages, list of messages. Then we have attachments, list of images we can attach. Okay. Then we have content builder. All these I will be explaining when we will be using them. Then we have chat, because we are using the multi-turn chat. So we will be using the chat system from Firebase AI Logic SDK. So basically it accepts the model and history. It's accepting the history. Okay. Multi-turn interaction with a model. Multi-turn means we can ask the questions in multiple turns. It's not like the single turn chat. Just question is asked. After that, it will not be responding properly. So that's all about the intro. So now let's continue with this. So in the init, what we need to do is we need to initialize one model. Okay. So let's create that. Generative model, and for that we'll be using the Firebase dot AI. Okay. And then we have, so it has two backends as I mentioned. Generative backend dot, if you see Google AI, Vertex AI, we are using the Google AI here. Okay, that's it. Some other configurations are also there which we can specify. If you see app, that is automatically initialized, we don't need to specify that using that plugin which will be adding in the Google services. Okay, then we have generative model. Here we can specify some configurations. Model name, which we have added there, Gemini 2.5 flash. System instructions. Okay, system instructions which we added there. Then we have generation config. Generation config that we have added already above. Okay, then let's initialize chat as well. Okay, so for chat, what we need to do is from this generative model, we will be starting chat and passing the chat history there. Okay, so now send message. User will be clicking on send message. Then what will be happening? So we need to create the prompt. Okay, so for that we'll be using the content builder dot text. So if you see in the content builder, we have role, parts, image, text, multiple things are there. Okay, we are test sending the text here. If we need to send image, we can do this. Here we are sending the text. Okay, user message, and then we need to just build it. Okay, and so here initially we will be updating the state. So basically one more thing. So So while we created this one, so if we want to specify some initial chat history, then it's kind of a useful. But here we don't have any initial chat history. So it's by default not accepting anything. It means by default it has empty. So we can skip this one as well. I forgot to tell you this step. So that is the initial chat history basically. So now here we will be adding one simple message here, mutable list dot apply add prompt. Initial prompt we will be adding here. So basically this one, when user clicking on message, we are accepting that user message, creating the prompt from that, passing that prompt here. And if you see, type of that prompt is content. Basically we need to just convert that to the content thing which your Gemini model is accepting. Okay, then we have is loading. Let's set it true. Okay, then inside the try block we will be calling that. Okay, chat dot send message prompt. Okay, and it's returning the response. And then what we need to do is, from that response we'll be updating the message. Let's just copy even this, and here we will be just adding the candidates. Let's provide the list of candidate. From that we need to get the first one. Okay, and then content. So list of candidates, it provides the content. Okay, if you go here, list of candidate response is generated by the model. It returns the response in form of candidate model. Content, safety ratings, metadata, finish reason. If you need any of these, you can check that as well. Finish reason if you need it in some cases. Why chat is finished. Okay, and here we can set error null as well. In case if we have error here, next time it will be updating the error. Okay, and is loading, that will be going inside the finally basically. So here what we need to do is underscore error message. We need to update that error message. Okay, from the exception, and here we will be updating the is loading dot value is equal to false, and we need to refresh the content builder. For the next call. Okay, and we need to clear attachments as well for the next call. If we have added an attachment, it will be clear for next call. Okay, that's about this sending message. Then we have add attachment. So for add attachment we need to add some. So if you observe carefully, we are updating the messages here on the chat response or error or loading. These things will be observed in the UI, and we will be adding UI changes there accordingly. Okay, that's about the state. Then we have add attachments. It will be accepting the byte array because byte array is needed there. They are accepting the byte array for the like images or files. They will be needing the byte array. So here what we need to do is, because as I discussed, content builder will be accepting the different things. So we will be applying the mime type check. Mime type, like we will be extracting from the image and passing it here, like for detecting if it is image or what, image or any other file. Okay, if it is image. Okay, so if it is image, then content builder dot image. We will be using the image here, and for that image, we will be using one method. Yeah, let's add that. Generate bitmap from byte array. Okay, it will be accepting the byte array. Will be passing the file in bytes here. Okay, and here we will be using the bitmap factory. It provides direct method decode byte array. File in bytes, comma starting from where it will be starting 0, and all byte array it will be accepting from 0 till all bytes, right? How many bytes we want to convert, that is about that, starting from 0 all bytes. Okay, okay, sorry, bitmap. Okay, cool. It's accepting the bitmap. Okay, and then after that, what we need to do? So that's it for image. For else any other file, if we want to upload any other file, so as of now we can skip that. We don't need to do anything. Okay, but that is for the, like, in case if you're uploading the audio, video, other files as well. Okay, but for this video we can skip that. This is add attachment. So that's the view model logic done. Okay, we can remove this one as well if not needed. But if we want to provide some initial messages as a sample to the model, it can learn, like it can respond in a better way. So then we can use this chat history list of content. It's like this, we need to provide. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part. We need to return, my bad. Okay, so that is the chat screen. So now what we'll be doing is we are observing the states here. Okay, let's observe all of states. So messages 3, my bad. Messages is of list of content by chat model dot messages dot collect as state with life cycle. You need to use this life cycle method. Then we have other things is loading. Then we have error message, and then we have attachments. Okay, so it's fine. Now we will be for the list of messages in the chat. While scrolling, we need state, scrolling state as well. So remember lazy list state, for that we'll be using. So type of these need to change boolean, and error message is of type string, and then we have attachments list of attachment is that simple model we have created file name and image which is accepting. Okay, one thing we forgot, we need to update here attachments as well. Okay, for updating we need to convert it to two mutable list because simple list is not mutable. Add attachment file name. Yeah, I think that's it. Image bitmap. Okay, so now let's continue with this. So basically now first of all what we need to do in the UI part, so we will be creating the chat list. Okay, chat list, and it will be accepting what do we need to pass there? Messages list of content. Okay, then what we have list state we need for scrolling, and its type is lazy list state. Then optional we have modifier, that is the good practice to accept it from the parent as an parameters. Okay, so here we will be using the lazy column. One thing to observe here is we will be using the reverse layout. Why that reverse layout? I will be showing you. So basically in the chat history what happens is, suppose first of all let me just run this, explain you a little bit about this. I will be coming to this back once it's running. Okay, so reverse layout. Then we have state, list state, and then we have modifier. Okay. So if you see, suppose here we are displaying the chat message, user replied that that message will be here. Then system replied here, then user, then system, like this. So what we need to do is, if we have multiple messages, so by default, first message will be here, last message will be in the bottom. But in the chat system, we display some input thing here, but we want the last message here. Okay, that is cool. Last message here, not down below this, but scrolled part should be above this. So that's why it we use the reverse layout. By default it will be applying first item here, then the all the items will be below this. Okay, view area. So then we are scrolling like this, then going to the last message, but here we will be doing reverse layout. Why? So by reverse layout it will be like last message will be here, but it will be rendering the layout in the reverse. Last message will be becoming the first message here, and it will be starting rendering from here because it will start rendering from the first message, and we are passing the messages as reverse, reversing list and then passing the message, and then reverse layout will be doing the wonders, like starting rendering from the bottom to top, not from top to bottom. So that's why last message will become first message, that will come here in the, and then the other message will be go down, and then we can scroll like this. Scrolling will also be reversed. Okay. So, and also, so this does not have any id and other things, so maybe we can generate some random id here. Okay, but ideally we our model have some ids, we can pass the unique ids there, and key is very important in lazy columns for proper recomposition. Okay, and then we will be creating the chat item. So what will be displaying in the chat item? Let's do that. For that we can create other composable. Let's copy that. Chat item, it will be just accepting the chat message, it will be providing that as like this. Okay, that's it. And now what we need to do is do simple things, horizontal alignment. So basically horizontal alignment will be accepting according to the user, like here or left or right, where we need to align. So horizontal alignment, that will be depending upon the, if user is model message, so we will be applying here is model message, and it is model message means if chat message dot role equal to model, in that case role will be coming as model, and if is model message, then it will be where we need, where we need to line, in that case in the left, in the start alignment dot start, else alignment dot end, start from here and here. Okay, similarly one more thing, we will be applying some shape as well, bubble shape. So bubble is like this item. Okay, chat item. So if, so basically in that case I will show you shape differences, I will show you later on. Basically I'm adding it here, if is the model message, because by just explaining you will not understand, else it will be different. So in that user, in the system message case, rounded corner shape, and it's like, let's specify 4 dp 20 20 dp 20 20. Okay, so in this case top start will be less. Okay, like this message will look, yeah. And in this case it will be the bottom one, top end. Top, in this case top start padding will be lesser. I will show you while displaying that, you will observe that, not that difficult thing. Okay, so horizontal alignment, horizontal alignment. Okay, and also one more thing, so background color as well we can add here according to that. bg color, if is model message, then we can use, so for the model let's just not use any color here, dot transparent. And for this we can use material theme dot color scheme dot primary container, let's use that. Okay, then we have text color as well according to that. Okay, if is model message, and specified, it will automatically pick up. But for that on primary container, so primary container, if background is primary container we can use the text color on primary container, it will automatically apply the required color there. Okay, so let's apply the modifier here, padding horizontal 8 dp, vertically 4 dp, or you can apply according to what you want to add. Okay, then we can take just one row, and so here we need to use the width of the screen. We can use the box with constraints as well here. Okay, but it provides the available width. Then we will be using the card. Okay, and inside the card we will be passing the colors, card defaults dot card colors, container color will be vg color. Okay, then we have shape as well, we can specify bubble shape which we just added above. And then we can have modifier dot required width in. So minimum is 0 and maximum is max width. This is provided from the maximum available bit screen width box with constraint. Star, let's say 9%, 90% of that. Okay, let's add this. Linting, pressing, linting is showing some error there. Okay. Then what we need to do is just a simple column. Padding 16.dp fill max width. So then let's pick the chat message dot parts, because we can have multiple messages, that's why I use the column. image and text as well. Okay, when part is text part, we will be displaying the text message. Text will be part dot text modifier fill max width, and let's specify the color as text color, which we added above depending upon the model or AI message. Then what we have is image part. In case of image part, just let's simply use the image with bitmap. Its bitmap will be part dot image dot as image bitmap. Content description, if we want to specify some modifier dot fill max width dot padding, let's specify from the bottom. Okay, this is also done. This is for the chat list. Okay, rename it. Okay, so and now what we need to do is, first of all, let's use that chat list here. Now we will be using the bottom input, creating the for sending the messages, comma, list state. That's fine. Okay. Now next thing is we will be creating the other things like bottom input and adding the showing the attachments. Okay. Let's add one thing here. So it should take fill max size plus weight 0.5f half. Okay. Even let's remove this if needed. We will check it. Okay. So this is done. Now let's move on to the. So here what we need to do is, so basically here after like getting these list messages will be here. Then we will be having some attachments. Then bottom input. So for that we will be using the box here. Content alignment dot bottom center, bottom vertically and center horizontally. Okay. Then we have one column. Inside the column we will be having error message or loading indicator. We can show that. Okay. We can specify some background here. Surface container. So here what we need to do is, if is loading, then we can add linear progress indicator or horizontal one as well if we need. No, sorry, circular progress indicator as well we can use according to our choice. Modifier dot fill max width dot background Oops, not background. We can just specify some padding here. Extend dp. Or even we can specify directly using the error message. If not, null directly. We can add some card for that. Simple card. Container color can be error container. Then we can modifier. Just fill max width. We can avoid padding. Then we have some text with the error. Text will be it. This error message. Okay. We can specify some padding. Okay. Then let's move to the bottom input part. Attachments list as well we can show. That we can show later on maybe. First of all, let's attachment list will be showing later on. First add let's see bottom input. Let's create one composable for that. So we can accept some initial prompt if needed, but yeah, we can skip that here on and message. That will be the method here which we need to pass. Then we have on file attached. It will be passing the URI. Then we have is loading false for disabling the send button. Okay. First, let's of all remember the user message. Savable. Mutable state of initial is empty, or if you want to pass initial message, we can pass that from here as well. Okay. Import the mutable state dot get value. Then we have, let's say, one row. Modifier dot padding, adding some padding and filling the max width. Then we will be using the outlined text field here for the input. Okay. Value is equal to which we are remembering the user message. Label we can provide according to our choice. Some message maybe. Okay. On value change, what we will be doing, just updating the user message. Okay, then we have modifier dot align, center horizontally, then some padding from the end. My bad, we need to align center vertically. Fill max width, wait, taking the full width. Weight defines how much width we can take from the row. Okay. Then we have attachment option, we will be adding later on. If not blank, then we will be calling the on send message. And then setting the user message. And few other things enabled is if not loading. If loading, it will be disabled. Center vertically. Let's just clip it in circle shape. Color will be according to the if it is enabled or not. If it is loading, it will be disabled. Icon button defaults dot icon button colors dot disabled container color, else we can specify primary. Let's add the icon. Auto mirrored default dot send. Tint material theme dot color scheme dot on primary. Modifier fill max size. Let's give some padding. Well, let's try to run it. One more thing, you don't need to specify any key here because that will automatically done by the Firebase. That's pretty cool. Earlier in the generative AI SDK, we need to specify the key as well. Okay, yeah, let's add that bottom input basically. We need to add that in the top section. Add attachment icon button. Yeah, here. So it's accepting the initial message. On send message, let's use the view model dot send message. On file attached. Okay, so on file attached, we need content resolver here because it will be providing the URI. For that, we need context, local context dot current, then content resolver. From the context, we can get that. Okay, and here what we need to do, according to MIME type, we will be extracting it. Get type URI, it will be providing us URI dot, or optional is empty. File name, so basically here what we need to do, we need to call the query method URI and then some other parameters which we don't need here. How many parameters it have? Yeah, multiple. Then we can use it. It will be providing the cursor. That is the way of using, like if you want to some URI is the like path of the file. We want to, if you want to query that, so you pass the URI and some other parameters projection, some queries will be there if we need, but we are passing them as different. Then we can use that. It will be providing the cursor, and then from the cursor name index we will be getting get column index. So for display name column we can get column index. Then we have size index. Similarly, cursor dot move to last. Then moving the cursor to the left last. Converting sizes to the human readable form. Formatter dot short file size context comma cursor dot get long. This is getting little bit complex here, but you need to learn about little bit content resolver. for some local content from picking up the Android app. So you need this. This is context here. Then let's take a file name as well. Cursor.get string. If not only, then we'll be using it. Don't need this 20, my bad. Okay, directly delivering that. So here get string name index. First of all, we need to get the indexes. Then from the indexes, we need to get the data. Okay, you see, get it column index. Then from index, we are getting the data. Okay, and one more time, we need this open input stream. For getting the bytes. Oops, read bytes. And here chat model dot we will be calling add attachment. So here we will be passing the bytes, mime type, file name. Okay, yeah, a little bit it was confusing, but you just need to know about the content resolver. We can query that from some local URI. We pick some file from there. On that URI, we can use the query, and it will provide us the cursor. Cursor is used to like explore this all the response provided by the content resolver. If you see, that is type of cursor. So then we can get the column indexes. Then from the column indexes, we can pick up the data. Okay. So file name, basically let's improve it little bit. Along with that, along with this file name, we can in the bracket specify the human readable size as well. Let's try to run it now. The own file attached, we'll be adding once we'll be adding that one. So why this is happening? So I will show you. So if you see, we skipped one modifier here. Fill max size. So now let's apply some weight. 0.5 half. Okay. Vertically, it will take that much space in the column. Yeah, now it's looking fine. So let's try to run it. Hi, it's showing the loader now. A little bit UI issues are there. Hi there, how can I help you? So now it's returning the responses if you see in the wrong order. This message should be come below. Why this is happening? I will show you. So here we need to pass the messages in the reversed order. Yeah, it's not working fine. But this, if you see that shape I applied on the one side, I need the less padding cutting. Okay, that's why I added this. But now alignment, some issue is there with the alignment. Let's check it. If is model message start else and did we apply this? Yes, I think we forgot one thing. Fill max width. Yeah, it's not looking fine. Now that loader and attachment issue is there. Loader we can show here. Let's check that as well in the bottom input. Horizontal, vertical. Let's give it a.dp. Yeah, we will be checking that later on once we will be adding the attachment menu item here. Okay. Now let's try to add the attachment list and attachment menu sections. So first of all are the attachment menu from which we will be uploading image. Okay, which we need to add here. So for that, what we need to add basically? Let's create one composable for that. We will be using the image picker. Remember launcher for activity result, and here we will be passing the activity result contracts dot pick visual media for images. Okay, and it will be providing us the URI in the callback. That URI we will be passing in the one file attached. Okay, here we will be needing this. Then we have box modifier dot padding end for DP. Then we have icon button. On click, we will be launching. Let's take one variable as well because we will be using the drop down here. On click, we are triggering that. Just toggling the expandable. Okay. And this icon is for the files. Or maybe directly use the default one. Attach file. Then we have drop down menu. Expanded. On dismiss request, we need to make expanded false. And we need to specify some items here. We need add one text. Attach. Then we will be adding the drop down item. Okay. Horizontal, vertical for DP. Style. And then some drop down items. So as of now, we are adding the just image item. On click, we need to launch image picker. And we need to specify here what kind of media we want to pick. image only. And after that, we need to make expenditure. We need to toggle that as well. Okay. This is attachment menu. Now we need to show it. Let's add modifier as well. We need to show it near the this send button. Here modifier dot align center vertically and one file attached. One file attached. Let's try to see. Then we need to show attachment list as well. If you see, it's working fine. Now we need to show attachment list here. Let's quickly do that as well. Let's get one more composable. It's accepting the attachments list of attachment. Lazy column. Fill max width. Items. Attachments. Then one row. Modifier dot fill max width dot padding horizontal 8. Let's specify vertical as 4. Icon. Some icon we can specify. Attachment. Comma content description null. Align center vertically. Let's add some padding as well. And then we need to dot image. If it is not null, let's show some image here. Bitmap is equal to, it is already bitmap. or we can show name here. Modifier dot align, again alignment dot center vertically. Then we can specify file name. Then modifier align, center vertically. Then some padding. This attachments list we will be showing here. Let's try to run. We have some padding issue. Loader is also coming here. Okay, let's fix that. But first of all, let's test it. Explain image. If you see it showing image here. If you see, it's explaining quickly. What is written there, it's explaining that. It's working pretty fine. Now let's fix that UI issue. And this is the issue, I guess. We excluded these attachments and this bottom input out from this column. Okay, let's try to see if that is the issue. Yeah, if you see, now it's showing that image. Yeah, it's properly working. Please explain what is in image. Yeah, loader is properly showing. And that's done. Yeah, it's working properly. That's cool. So now chatbot is ready. Multi-turn chatbot. Now again, if I ask you, can you summarize in short, it will be responding. That is the multi-turn chat, proper chatbot. Yeah, if you see, it's summarized that. Yeah, it's working. Simple chatbot is also there. You can ask generic question as well. Let's say just restart it and just ask the simple question. I am a large language model trained by Google. What you can do. Yeah, it's answering properly. Yeah, that's cool. That's done. Currently, we have added the image as well. So multi-turn chatbot is there using the Gemini, using the Firebase AI Logic SDK. So in the upcoming video, we will be exploring it more as well, creating some other chatbots as well. So I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have enjoyed it, please like, share, and comment on it. And please do consider subscribing if you want more content like this. I will see you in another video with another cool content. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Have a great time. Keep coding.